Hello and welcome to another video from Mr. Miz Nation. Finally, I am back with another video. I haven't really stuck to my schedule that I set out a couple of weeks ago. In fact, probably more than a couple of weeks ago, almost a month ago now, I think it was. But I finally do have another video, and as you can tell from this entrance on WWE 2K14, it is about the unexpected news that has come out in the last few days about, well, CM Punk walking out the WWE. Highly unexpected, but then again also quite expected possibly in some people's minds. It's pretty much been the only thing in terms of wrestling news, apart from obviously the hijacking of the Royal Rumble by the crowd. But yeah, it kind of comes off a lackluster Raw. Some people were wondering where Punk was for that Raw. A lot of people just assumed he was kind of selling his possible wounds and injuries from the Royal Rumble, but in fact it's come out that he had an altercation potentially with Vince McMahon, and he has left the company for now. Now, first of all, there's been a bit of talk that this could be a work potentially. Now, I don't really think this is a work. I think this is actually legitimate. Then again, you never know with Punk, because he's pulled this type of stuff before. ROH 2005, he basically trolled pretty much the whole of internet community by making everyone think that he was signing for the WWE, so it'd be his last show, and then he cut obviously that amazing promo about being a snake and stuff. And then that was the first summer of Punk. And then of course there was the whole thing in 2011 where he did end up coming back. But this isn't quite the same as those two, because this has been much more subtle, and he didn't. Well, there was obviously people who knew about his concerns with WWE and his problems, but it's definitely not as widespread as it was in 2011 as him basically announcing it. It's kind of happened out of the blue. So I mean, I don't think it's a work, but I mean, WWE could potentially turn it into something. Punk has also, apparently he's supposed to also be in California around February time, which is where a Raw is, so there's always a potential that he could turn up there, shock everybody, but he's been pulled from all the live events. Flipping Hall of Famers, Mick Foley, Jim Ross, everybody's talking about it, so I highly doubt it is a work. And also there is the fact that AJ Lee, his now current girlfriend, also deleted a tweet saying that it isn't a work, it is legitimate, and she also used Punk's real name in that, so I mean, I don't think there's much more proof than that this isn't a work, but you never know. But I highly doubt WWE would be able to pull off something as amazing as this. In terms of the reasons for him leaving, a lot of people think it is because just basically of Batista returning when the Royal Rumble, old timers getting too many shots, and the guys that work their asses off not getting enough shots. I don't think it's particularly Batista coming back. A lot of people like TMZ have said that it was Batista coming back that angered Punk, but he is fairly good friends with Batista, so I mean, I don't think it is that. It obviously didn't help the situation, but he certainly is friends with Batista, as I said, so I mean, it might be potentially more about the Daniel Bryan thing, and other people like Dolph Ziggler, Zack Ryder maybe as well not getting a push. I remember seeing a video in 2011 saying that they need to use the Raw system more, and you could kind of say that hasn't happened. There's also been new guys coming through, but potentially Punk thinks maybe they're not the right guys that are coming through, I don't know. But then there's another story apparently about some concussion thing that also came out from this other guy who was apparently at a backstage in WWE. I can't quite remember his name, but he basically said that there was some concussion thing. Punk shrugging off something, saying that he didn't have concussion or something, arguing with the doctors, but I highly doubt it was that. I wouldn't think that Punk would leave as something as because something as petty as like concussion, just like an argument about something. But you never know. But I would highly doubt that Punk wouldn't leave because of something like that. As I hit the GTS. This is on easy, by the way. Just wanted to make sure I didn't lose to Triple H. But some people are saying he's unhappy with facing Triple H at WrestleMania, which was a match that was supposedly set up. But then there's also reports that they put Daniel Bryan in there against Triple H instead after the Royal Rumble, and what happened there. So they ended up putting him against Kane at WrestleMania. But I just think Punk has been pretty annoyed with the company for a while now, and Triple H is hitting his typical comeback here, flipping, trying to bury Punk, which maybe that's why Punk left as well. Sorry, that's beautifully there. But I'm trying to think of my train of thought now. But yeah, that might be the reason, and there is also there's a big thing that I read that I definitely agreed with, that JR put in his blog just a couple of hours ago actually, and roll up, and haven't quite ended it there. But he said there's two main things this probably comes down to, and it's cash and creative, the two C's. And creative almost certainly, because Punk has always kind of expressed his problems with what WWE are doing. However, cash is also the thing with the WWE Network coming in, and a lot of people being slightly worried about their pay and the pay-per-view buy rates and stuff and everything that's going on there. A lot of people worried about what is going to happen with that. In my opinion, I think it probably is to do with creative and what's going on there. I think he definitely wanted to be in the main event of WrestleMania, and it doesn't look like it's going to happen. But this will lead me on to my next point, which is what the hell is going to happen next with this? How is it going to affect the company? What the hell will Punk do after it? And there's been a lot of talk about where Punk will go. Will he go to MMA? Will he go to TNA? Will he go to ROH again? Will he go to Japan possibly, or any other places? Anything could really happen. But talking of going to TNA, really I can't see that happening. TNA are dying, really. Well, not dying, but you know what I mean. Trying to really attract big stars and losing big stars at the same time. Triple H might go such. But yeah, he's not going to TNA in my books. ROH possible, I mean, you never know. There's more chance of him going to ROH than TNA, I would say. There was so many changes since he was last there. I don't think he would end up going there. Japan is a possibility, I think, just simply because Punk... That may be the one thing that Punk hasn't achieved, really achieving an amazing run in Japan. But it'd be great to see him over there, but I just can't see it easily. MMA, I doubt it. I really do, but he has stated he's interested in it. So, once again, you never know. There's a lot of never knows around here about where he could go. But really, I think he'd probably be a bit too old to go to MMA maybe. And I think he would struggle. And somehow Triple H just busted himself open, avoiding a move. A bit of a glitch there, even though he isn't bleeding. Flipping Triple H no sense and stuff. Yeah, I think he's just going to sit on his couch and not do much, at least for the first few months. If anything, he will probably return to WWE at some time. I really hope they sort something out, potentially. I mean, a lot of people are comparing this to Austin, but it's completely different, really, because there's a lot more publicity, because now there's Twitter. I mean, there was social media back then, but it's not as big as it is now, really. In fact, it's nowhere near as big, because, I mean, Twitter is all over the place, really. I mean, you can access anything. 2002 is quite a bit different. So this is kind of the first big story of a superstar / wrestler walking out, really, but apart from obviously Punk before. But this is, as I said, a lot more subtle. As for the company, it could improve them, potentially, but I think this is only going to be a negative, to be honest. I mean, Raw was lackluster, really. The only thing that really helped it was Bryan and Cesaro. Even Bryan, I mean, the main event was the only really great thing, but then that had the DQ finish, so it was kind of meh.
What an offensive move! A good reversal by Punk.
But yeah, it's maybe WWE will. It will work for WWE, but I doubt it. Maybe it will put more on Daniel Bryan, more spot on Daniel Bryan, and maybe someone else who pushed up into the Punk spot, potentially Roman Reigns or one of the Shield members. I would like to see Seth Rollins kind of start to get pushed as a main event guy, but that's just because I think he's good. And again, Dean Ambrose is there as well. But yeah, and the cover here, we're going to finish it. But yeah, anything could happen in the next few days. He's not going to be on SmackDown, obviously. Who knows, maybe we'll end up appearing on Raw and this video will be pointless. But I'm looking forward to seeing what happens here. Anything could happen, as it usually does in wrestling, and as it usually does with Punk. So thanks for watching, and this is me out, and I will see you for another video probably tomorrow, which will be an F1 video, so completely different.